Stephen A., you came just in time.
Yeah.
We were just about to talk about the Sixers and what's next for them and James Harden.
We're talking about a guy that went 3 consecutive years averaging over 30. 5 consecutive years averaging at least 29 points. 8 or 9 years averaging at least 27 points per game. This is one of the most prolific scorers in the game. He knows what I'm talking about here. James Harden was so bad, so horrible last night, it almost looked intentional. How do you go from that to not attempting but 2 shots in the second half of a closeout game? In your sleep, we're not talking about making. We're not talking about makes or miss. We're talking about attempts. What scorer do you know in NBA history that can't get more than 2 shots up in a closeout playoff game in the second half?
Steve, since you decided to use ESPN to push your personal agendas, I'm sure your minions will run with this story for you, but if you believe this is what my career is defined by, then you're just a flat-out hater. It's going to be hard to box the god in.
Kevin Durant knows good and damn well I have no personal agenda here. Molly, I challenge anybody to find who's the person that calls this dude the best player in the world. All the time. That would be me, KP. Kevin Durant, the best player in the world when healthy. I've always said that. I feel that way now. And he was en route to win an MVP until he got hurt. And now Joel Embiid has taken the league by storm. Here's what I think Kevin Durant is missing. And I don't want to hear stuff about him being sensitive or whatever. That bothers me because Kevin Durant has a right to express himself when people are talking about him. I'd rather you do that than not do that. He is a superstar. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is one of the greatest players we have ever seen. Folks are going to look at KD and say, you left Steph for that? With his leadership in people's eyes because they view Brooklyn as his team. So when stuff happens, they're going to say, where are you correcting all of this because it's your team?
For entertainment, he went on to say, I sent shots at the puppet masters, not the puppets. All the puppets do is run around society trying to gain popularity and state opinions. What a life. My name is worth billions to these media corporations. My brothers and sisters who deal with this know exactly what I mean. All right, Stephen A. and Keyshawn still here with me. Stephen A., your response to those tweets, and there were more by Kyrie. That was just a portion of them.
Kyrie Irving, Keyshawn, as I've said on many occasions, is arguably the most spectacular talent in the NBA. He is box office. I remember taking the liberty of calling out Isaiah Thomas, my buddy, because he was on NBA TV the night Kyrie Irving dropped 60. And basically the paraphrase, like, you see this, Stephen A., what about now, blah, 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 blah. And I said to Isaiah Thomas, what the hell you think I'm talking about? That's what we want to see. You're so spectacular. We want to see you play. We are witnessing one of the most delusional athletes in American history. He's lost because he's so big on telling everybody else they're lost. Kyrie is also slick because he's trying to get away with something that I'm not going to allow him to get away from. You played 20 games your first year in Brooklyn. That means you missed, 62 games or whatever, but I think the season was halted at that time because of the pandemic, okay? But you missed your share of games. You come back the next year, you play 54 games. You come back this year, it's the pandemic. You missed 53 games. Kyrie Irving is one of the greatest professionals at missing work.
That is blasphemous.